The American Community Schools of Athens philosophy of education is student-centered. It is the belief that each student is an individual with unique learning styles, talents, and abilities. For 7 decades, ACS Athens has continuously developed an environment of cooperation, belonging, and collaboration among students, faculty, and staff. An environment where learning is the shared responsibility of the student, the school, and the family. Since 1945, the American Community Schools of Athens has stood strong in the midst of many varied changes. As the world transformed around us, we moved and we grew to meet the challenges posed. The school's long and stellar history speaks to its ability to evolve continually, nurturing an all-encompassing community of diversity well beyond its walls.
Since 1945, ACS Athens has undergone tremendous transformations. But in all of that time, one thing has remained constant. That's our commitment to American principles, values, and practices of education. At ACS Athens, what has always been true is that the student is at the center of everything we do.
Our school's philosophy undergirds everything that we do. We are committed to a school culture of learning, respect, responsibility, and service, celebrating differences and treasure those values and traditions that bind us as a community.
For the past 70 years, ACS Athens has been committed to educating the whole child. We continue to evolve today with this holistic, meaningful, and harmonious model of education.
At the end of World War II, American and British diplomatic and military personnel made up a small and distinct community around Athens. The United States and Great Britain were important players in the post-war landscape of Greece, and significant numbers of Anglophones lived in Athens and the environs. Just over a century after the United States' recognition of free Greece, in 1945, a school was created for the children of these expatriates. The British Army School, which first opened in Glyfada, soon became the Anglo-American School. Becoming the American Community Schools of Athens in 1950, the school then found a permanent home in Halandri, where it still stands today, providing excellence in education to children of the American, international, and local Greek communities. Now, almost 7 decades after its founding, the American Community School of Athens continues to be a shining feature of the international educational landscape of Athens and one of the leading international schools in the world. The school is special both because of the distinguished history and because of its distinctive holistic educational co-curricular approach, which blends the values and principles of American education with best practices in international education, all in the service of educating global citizens with ethos.
The U.S. Embassy had a long and continuous role working with ACS, especially in its 70 years of existence. This year in the Embassy we celebrate 70 years of the Marshall Plan. It hasn't been quite that long that kids have been coming here, but it has been a long and continuous relationship. And we have 3 members on the board, it has been for many, many decades, that help us to assure that the students who come from the Embassy, who are part of the ACS community, are receiving an education that's equivalent to what we're used to in the United States.
Alongside its focus on the global, the American Community School has remained focused on the community that is part of its very name, the Athenian, Anglophone, and international communities. Back in the 1940s, that first community of British and American families in Athens created a core that remains at the heart of the school. With the move to Halandri, the school was able to embrace a larger community. As its student body grew, so too did its outlook and its impact. Within the framework of an American school, ACS Athens took on an increasing international flavor. Over time, it would grow to accommodate more than 2,500 students from grades K through 12. Early on, ACS enjoyed the recognition and accreditation of both Greek and American institutional bodies. In 1964, the Middle States Association of Schools and Colleges accredited the Academy, our high school. And within 2 decades, both the Greek and American accreditations would be updated and expanded. In 1974, ACS Athens was one of the first group of international schools authorized to offer the International Baccalaureate diploma. The school's first yearbook, the Evzon, was published in 1952. It highlighted the accomplishments of its 6 graduating seniors. Along with our students' success came ours. The 1970s saw unprecedented and ambitious growth for ACS. In 1974, the school's director undertook a major development effort, which enabled us to create the structural bridge, which contains our science labs, administrative offices, and conference space. In the same decade, additions to the annex and the elementary school buildings helped with the updating and modernization of the campus as a whole.
Well, I've been here since the mid-70s, and certainly a lot has changed since then, particularly in the fact that we have continued to be very innovative. And we were always somewhat innovative. We had the first IB school in the area, but this has continued at a much greater pace as the years gone on, and that's what's made it very exciting to continue to be a teacher here. I retired at one point, but I never left, actually, because I just love all of the wonderful things that we're doing here, and it's exciting, and it's creative. It keeps you feeling young, and so I think that hopefully we'll continue that way for quite some time.
The school was now well on the way to a new chapter in its history. In 1994, representatives of the community's various constituencies, faculty and parents, students and board members developed ACS 2000, a strategic plan to guide the school's next half-century of existence. The American Community School has thrived for more than 70 years, and we feel that we have only just begun.
At ACS Athens, we're committed to graduating students who are inquirers, knowledgeable, thinkers, communicators, principled, open-minded, caring, balanced, reflective, and decision makers. This is our learner profile. It's also our faculty profile and our leadership profile. Learners, faculty, leaders share the same principles and values at ACS Athens.
We have come a long way over the past 7 decades and are poised to meet the challenges to come. We are a student-centered school. This means that all our academic programs, co-curricular activities, and support services are designed within the student's best interest in mind.
ACS Athens is the first international school to be reaccredited by Middle States Association using the highest level protocol called Sustaining Excellence. We're really honored to have been identified as a school who possesses the highest level of excellence, and we are committed to sustaining this and building on it.
The American Community School of Athens is honored to have been the first international school to achieve reaccreditation under the Middle States Association Commissions on Elementary and Secondary Schools Sustaining Excellence Protocol. As such, we are a model school for K through 12 21st century education. Just as we have changed and grown to meet changing times, we stand ready to do so over the course of the 21st century and beyond.
Admissions in an international school like ACS Athens is by itself a holistic process. A student's profile, needs, and aspirations must always be in sync with what the school has to offer, academically, emotionally, and socially. That's why everyone involved should be committed to this partnership from the beginning: the family, the student, and our faculty.
The past 2 decades, worldwide, there were principles and values challenged.
Challenge because globalization created benefits, but also created some very interesting situations worldwide. As a result, in academia, there were questions and discussions whether we're preparing students for yesterday's society, today's, or tomorrow. We reflected on that over the years, and we decided to propose a new educational paradigm. An educational paradigm that will promote curiosity, decision-making, leadership, but most important, ethos. So that new educational paradigm, it was developed, it was modified, it was quite assumed that it would provide answers to our questions. So that was the global morphosis paradigm. About 12 years ago, ACS Athens developed and over the years moved into establishing the global morphosis paradigm. That paradigm consists of three inseparable, interrelated, and interconnected components. It is the educational philosophy, which is called morphosis, because the verb morphono in the ancient Greek means shaping. So therefore, we do not talk about a paradigm where the learner is a passive learner, but the learner is helping shaping not only intellectual abilities, but also character. So therefore, the first one is the educational philosophy, which is a holistic, harmonious, and meaningful. What does it mean that? Meaningful that it is in relation with everyday life, harmonious that it is in harmony with our principles and values, and of course, we have to see how all of this can be developed.
At ACS, we believe that learning is a lifelong process. Our school, like our students, have been changing and evolving over the course of its life.
The second component of this new paradigm is the delivery methodology. The delivery methodology, ours, is I square flex. That's interesting. The one I means the independent learner. The same way today, we are independent learners every day. We pay our bills through online. But on the other hand, if we have some questions, we call someone. So the other I, it's called inquiry-based, guided by a mentor. And then, of course, if the independent and the inquiry-based with a mentor doesn't work, then we see someone face-to-face. So therefore, our learning has the last component, which is called face-to-face learning. So our students, they learn by themselves, with mentoring, but also face-to-face, and a conversation in what we call it classroom, but has no resemble with what it was classroom in the past. So our methodology of delivery learning, it's quite different than what we used to have.
The elementary school has a very holistic approach to teaching students throughout its education. And what we do is we implement different kinds of innovative and creative ideas to make learning fun. And one example of this is our captainship activity that takes place in the first grade classrooms. He's a three-legged dog, and what happens is children come in and they learn to read to him in order to have fun, build confidence, feel secure in their reading, and develop their skills.
Dr. Yanna started an initiative to implement science program in the elementary school. As an IB teacher, I grabbed the opportunity. I said, I will do this program because I know how to prepare the scientists since early ages to become not only the best science students in our IB program, but I really want them to become the best scientists in the world.
It's great to get kids excited about mathematics in the elementary school because we have the challenge of building the foundations of mathematics, both conceptually and through computation. We do this through hands-on activities, a variety of manipulatives, real-world application, and problem solving, and also through our unique Dogs and Learning program.
Middle school is a time where students experience a lot of change, and we make sure in our building that we provide them with the necessary life skills as they transition to the high school. We also believe in acknowledging positive reinforcement.
I was awarded by the Student Affairs Office for helping them with a presentation for the houses of the school.
And I was awarded by my language arts teacher, Ms. Konyasi, for being a responsible student and organizing events to help the Hope School Drive.
Aristotle once said that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. As a middle school teacher and the advisor to the Service Leaders Club, it's my vision to see my students transform into the leaders the world so desperately needs. Leaders with servants' hearts, filled with compassion, willing to meet the needs of others.
At ACS Athens, we call our high school the Academy, honoring the historical location by connecting it to Plato's Academy. Central to our educational philosophy is the idea of inquiry and dialogue.
ACS Athens is a diamond of international schools. We offer a broad range of education programs. We use various international and instructional strategies. We also have academic support, and those three components is what makes us different for educating our students. Our faculty bring a wealth of experience and talent to our very diverse students, and they help them progress.
In the Academy at ACS Athens, students have the opportunity to enroll in several integrated classes. I teach in the 10th grade American Studies course, where we integrate history and literature. Students are challenged to create their own meaning of learning through simulations, debate, most notably the Truman Trial, which we just completed, where students took on the prosecution and defense to create their own cases, bringing their own witnesses to prove whether Harry S. Truman was guilty or not guilty of crimes against humanity. It's lessons like this that we find most effective and memorable for our students.
At ACS, we believe that our community exists to provide opportunities for all our students to reach their full potential.
The American Community School of Athens is unique because it's the only school in the world that offers a state-of-the-art science lab and science program at the elementary level.
Just as we nurture our students to fulfill their potential, our school is always striving to do what it does even better.
What are the necessary and sufficient conditions in order to implement such a paradigm? Of course, you have to have the appropriate curriculum, and that's why we're taking our innovative approach and we are combining the best around.
Integrating technology in the classroom and beyond is a top priority at ACS Athens. The I2 Flex model has been adopted by faculty and specialists to fit the educational needs of students and to assist them in meeting their educational goals.
I2Flex is a teaching methodology that integrates the inquiry-based and independent, face-to-face, flexible learning. In other words, it is a blended methodology. And it also is supported by the meaningful use of educational media and technology. Essentially, I2Flex serves as the bridge between the traditional brick-and-mortar classroom and 21st century education. It does help extend the learning beyond the classroom, and it helps the student to feel more prepared, both for their university studies, but also for their future career and citizenship needs.
Learning Commons here at ACS Athens is a JK through 12 entity. It allows students to be architects of their own learning by providing them with the resources, the space, and the qualified personnel to guide their inquiry. It supports all academic programs of our school.
In addition to resources, the Media Center is equipping students and faculty to produce and broadcast radio and television projects. This cutting-edge studio space supports all classes in using media as a means to communicate.
At ACS Athens, we believe that students have diverse learning styles. As such, we offer, in addition to the American High School Diploma program and our own authentic courses, we offer standardized programs such as AP, the Advanced Placement, and IB Diploma, the International Baccalaureate Diploma. We aim to assist our students to achieve their highest academic potential. I'm very proud to say that the implementation of the AP and IB program at our school has led to very successful academic profiles for all of our students, assisting them to reach their academic and college dreams.
ACS today is home to students representing more than 60 countries, and its student body is roughly divided equally among U.S., Greek, and other nationalities. We encourage our students to internationalize themselves as well. While the language of instruction and of all official communications at our school is English, we offer an array of foreign language options, such as French, German, Greek, Arabic, Mandarin, and Spanish.
Diversity not only refers to different nationalities, but it refers to different mindsets, learning styles, talents, abilities, and interests. Part of the complexity of an international school is being able to teach to all of these from a common philosophy. Our faculty are very well trained to meet this challenge.
Our faculty is also international and diverse. Most hold a postgraduate degree, have been through specialized training, and have many years of instructional experience. This, along with a very high teacher-to-student ratio, ensures a top-level educational experience for all.
Usually, other institutions, they find the faculty in education affairs, but we took a very provocative path. We developed relationship with several universities in the United States who have the best educational programs. So we develop programs where graduate students of these universities, that they have a teaching certificate, they come and they spend time with us, either as we call them teachers in residence, or researchers, or even as faculty in an exchange program. That gives us the opportunity to choose the best faculty depending on their content expertise, but most important, about the understanding of cultural diversity, because we are a very diverse institution. And how diverse? Well, we have 52 different nationalities. And these 52 nationalities, they all bring something incredibly powerful, the cultural richness. But in order to capitalize on this cultural richness, you have to have faculty that they can learn from that. Faculty that are open-minded, faculty who believe in authentic approaches in education. For example, you can see that our faculty that come in and they can utilize dogs or utilize other means to teach very difficult concepts, where the concepts are mathematics, or the concepts are physics, or the concepts are history. In order to be able to attract this kind of faculty, you also to have the leadership that promote this kind of collaboration.
At ACS Athens, we prepare our students to be lifelong learners, and we expect nothing less from our professional staff. So we have a variety of professional development and growth activities for them to take part in.
One of the most significant professional development activities at our school in the last few years was the 2016 ACS Athens Colloquium. During the colloquium, 85 members of our professional staff presented the results of research that they had conducted in their own classrooms to an audience of international educators.
The American Community School today occupies a state-of-the-art facility where students have the opportunity to participate in a variety of sports, both competitively and for recreation.
At ACS Athens, athletic is not just about a sport or a game. It is about building character, teamwork, and ethos. And for us, this is what holistic education is about.
The ACS Athens philosophy of education believes in educating students holistically, mind, body, and soul. Numerous co-curricular activities are available to students, and if an activity does not exist, students can certainly initiate its inception.
Student life at ACS Athens is very rich. Students have the opportunity to learn not only inside the classroom, but outside as well, by being involved in a number of interest groups, activities, and of course, community service. What doesn't exist at ACS Athens, students have the opportunity to create.
The arts and culture are central to an ACS Athens education, both within the curriculum and in our co-curricular program. Our students in visual arts, theater, dance, and music have the opportunity to showcase their work in our state-of-the-art facilities.
At ACS, we use music as a tool to give more character and strengthen the character of our students. We see so often that our students are shy, introvert, and we use music in a fun way to build confidence. We need confident students. We need to prepare them now for the road ahead. The more exposure that they get, the better they're going to do in an interview, in a job interview later on down the road, in a university interview, and things of that nature. We use music as a character building tool.
All stakeholders at our school, students, faculty, staff, and parents, are able to receive supportive counseling and psychoeducational services, as well as support for learning differences that support holistic well-being and that encourage our students' academic success.
All of these services provided by Student Affairs are designed to promote the optimal well-being of students.
Here at ACS Athens, we believe that every student can learn and be successful. One of my favorite sayings is, if a student does not learn the way we teach, we find the teaching methodology so they can learn best.
A key reflection of the school's holistic approach is in its emphasis on service. Through service projects, our students learn to apply academic knowledge to real-life situations and gain the ability to imagine and connect to the worlds beyond their own.
As an example of developing leaders with ethos to serve humanity is what the students created, the Youth to Youth program. The Youth to Youth program is a manifestation of how ingenuity and how authenticity of students can have fruits. So what happened? Students developed by themselves a program where they teach refugee students mathematics, English, literature, and Greek. And therefore, they see firsthand not only what are the difficulties that these refugee kids they have, but also what does it mean to be optimistic? What does it mean to be a citizen of the world? And therefore, it's not going to be only theory, but it's going to be a praxis. And that, what does it mean for us? Students are architects of their own learning in order to become leaders of tomorrow with ethos.
The Youth to Youth program has been designed to assist refugee minors to build skills, the necessary skills such as social skills and language skills to integrate successfully into the community. Currently, there is a 10-week program running for 15 refugee minors, and it involves the participation of around 40 volunteers, faculty, and ACS students. This is immensely beneficial for ACS students as it promotes empathy, and it also helps them to adapt to the needs of a changing world.
The last but not least is the leadership philosophy. The leadership philosophy, it's again borrowed the terminology from the ancient Greeks. It's called aristia. Aristia means excellence under the guidance of ethical discipline. Because also we believe school-wide that we don't have an economic crisis worldwide. We have an ethical crisis. A crisis where our leaders, they are skillful, they graduated from the best universities probably of the world, but they're missing two elements. First, which is ethical discipline, and second, to serve humanity. And serving humanity, really it's an element where for us is central for our philosophy in our school. Serving humanity starts from the elementary school, where the little kids, they care about animals, about hungry people. Then it goes to the middle school, where in the middle school we're talking about students being engaged in social issues. Engaged means maybe collect some perishing, some goods to give it to less privileged people. Or in the high school, with a commitment, where students are really committed to worry, but more important, to make a difference in the lives of others. Because our students, regardless of their diversity they're coming in, they're very privileged. They're very privileged in many ways. The most important way is that they are in a school where our faculty, our administrators, our staff, our caretakers, they very much believe that extending kindness, it is the best present that they can give. So when a young person, a young student walks into the campus, from the security person to the janitor to the cafeteria person to the teacher, reflecting this philosophy.
ACS, our middle name is Community. We are not just pencils and books and students and teachers. We are a community. We build character and we build leadership. I feel, as a class of 1971, that ACS launched me into my career. ACS will do the same thing for you.
Not only am I a member of the Board of Trustees at ACS, I also have an active interest in the form of my son, who's been here for the past 3 years and will have one more year, we hope, here at ACS. We were very concerned when we arrived that the education that he might receive here might not be quite as good as what we were used to in Northern Virginia, where we were living while he was in the first grade. But it was very, very soon thereafter that we understood that ACS met and exceeded in many places the standards and the offerings educationally that our son was able to receive. And more importantly, being part of an international school, a community that really thrives together and sort of rallies around this idea of excellence in education, he's able to see the world through other people, which is a gift beyond what he learns in textbooks that will last with him for the rest of his life. So I think the difficulty probably will be is going back and not having the same environment for which he's come to love.
Through a process of guided self-reflection, students are taught to make educated and best fit choices throughout their academic career here at ACS Athens. This ultimately leads them to make best fit choices for higher educational institutions that will help them achieve their goals.
When we implement this global morphosis paradigm with appropriate faculty and leaders, then we have some incredible results. The results are fruits that they benefit our students. As an example, this year graduation class of around 95 students, they carry 1.6 million of scholarship. Also, they're coming universities from the United States and lately from Holland to see with their own eyes the students, this educational paradigm, because sometimes it's too good to be true. So the benefits of the students for such a paradigm, it is unbelievable. I have to tell you that even when we started this new paradigm, I was not so optimistic. But today, what I see our students are good leaders, incredible decision makers, but most important, they are global citizens who will make a difference in the world.
Our student athletes have enjoyed great success at higher institutions by receiving academic and athletic scholarships. They have been great ambassadors of what student athletes are all about.
It was my dream to study abroad and play basketball in the United States. And finally, I took a scholarship here at ACS Athens 3 years ago. And after that, I got a full scholarship at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to play basketball and also study there. So here I am, my dream did come true with ACS Athens.
We are proud to be able to undertake our mission in a magnificent facility that is itself a testimony to the dedication of the members of our community. Many of our spaces were made possible through the dedication of our generous supporters.
It wouldn't be possible to implement such an authentic educational paradigm if it was not for the appropriate Board of Trustees structure. So it's not only the particular members of the Board of Trustees, but also the structure. So therefore, about 8-9 years ago, we had developed a new governance structure. A governance structure that mimics a university in the United States, where we have trustees who are responsible for the well-being of the school, and together with the leadership, the president, they work together to develop strategic planning and implementing the strategic planning. But most important, to have check and balances. The same way we have in the United States, the Congress and the Senate. So with this incredibly unique governance structure and leadership structure, we were able, and we will be able in the future, to take ACS Athens to a higher level, and the level will be infinity.
As a Board of Trustees member, I'm part of a group from the U.S. Embassy who has represented over the years our interests for our students that attend. But we work also together with other people. It makes sort of a triad, right? We have Greeks that are here locally, that are part of business or have interest because their children are part of the school. And then there's also Greeks from the American diaspora who maybe aren't even physically here, but participate in meetings through teleconference or phone call. And so what you get are three different perspectives on the issues at hand that we have to decide. Some of those issues are not easy. We're lucky with good leadership here in the school that the push toward academic excellence runs sort of by itself and with our support. But on the financial side, given the challenges that have taken place here in Greece because of the financial crisis, that perspective from different people have allowed the school not only to adjust to the current situation, but now as we move through this year and the next, begin to really thrive and get back into a more stable place to be. That allows for an environment that continues to foster the academic excellence that Dr. Yamas and many, many other people here have put forth and have incredible energy to maintain. And it makes ACS really a magnet, not only for the American education, but for excellence here in Greece.
The purpose of the Board of Trustees of any corporation is to provide the resources. The administration sets the priorities, sets the educational philosophy, sets the curriculum. Our job is to say, what do you need?
It is a tremendous pleasure for me, a Board of Trustees member of the American Community School of Greece, based out of the United States Board. And also, of course, within my capacity as president of the American Hellenic Institute. I feel, within the context of what I do at the American Hellenic Institute, I bring something to the table of being able to create the vision looking forward of the interaction that we're trying to do and connect between the two cultures of the United States and Greece. In that capacity, my vision for the school is one, of course, to continue to promote the academic excellence that it continues to do at a very high standard, as proven by the amount of graduates who go on to go to American academic institutions of higher learning. So that is very rewarding to me to understand that this caliber exists here.
As an alum of the school and former director of alumni affairs, I now work with the school in a similar capacity, where we've created an association called the ACS Athens Global Association. We primarily focus on professional networking among alumni, and our goal is to connect our alumni professionally. And recently we just held our first Alumni Achievements Award, where we recognized our astronaut Scott Perezinski and Kautsas, who is a physician and does cancer research, and we're very happy with the way it went, and we're hoping to do many more in the future.
What does it mean to be a citizen of the world? When the American Community Schools say that it produces global citizens, we are consciously referring to one of the oldest concepts in Greek culture and history, that of the cosmopolitan.
So the question then is, okay, well, if this is a proposition for the new educational era, are there any evidences that for the last 12 years, this education philosophy produced some very meaningful leaders for the next century?
What makes ACS Athens different from me is that it gave me the freedom to choose between a variety of academic programs, extracurricular activities, and sports, which has helped me evolve as a person and gave me the skill set to become a decision maker. Through this, I've become a full IB diploma student, a 3-sport athlete in cross-country basketball and track and field, and the treasurer of the National Honor Society. In addition, I've been accepted and gained a scholarship to a number of universities in the US and in Europe, such as WPI, Boston University, Northeastern, and Eindhoven.
ACS Athens' innovative and authentic educational paradigm attracted the interest of the best international schools of the world that they want to implement, even partially, the new paradigm. As a result, ACS Athens becomes the institution modeling 21st century education.
The American Community School has traveled a long distance over these past 70 years, yet at its core has remained what it first set out to be. It remains, in the truest sense, a community school, a place of belonging, a home away from home. Join us for an unforgettable journey that will no doubt leave its mark in your heart and mind.